Whoa, now what's up, world? It's your boy, the Toothless Wonder, on the Bamboozled Again News Network, coming back with another Mickey flip. And I got some things to do, so I'm gonna try to do this while I'm driving. Um, I just wanted to post on YouTubials. You know what I mean? Um, Now, mind you, I live in a more rural area of Maryland. Uh, so past couple of days, I've been going, as we say over here, across the bridge to what I used to call civilization, basically the Baltimore metropolitan areas. More so in the suburbs. Off and on for the past week. Uh, and of course, it is me. But I'm noticing something, like my desire to be a part of the world, and not just the world, but just any really social functions. Like the other day, I was door dashing. I had to stop in the Maryland Live Casino, take a leak, take a quick break or whatever. And I thought about gambling. I don't think most I want me gambling, but it was packed to the gills in that piece, right? And it was packed to the gills. You know what I mean? And I mean, they got it really laid out. They had a little singer woman, looking real classy. You know what I'm saying? You got your little barmaids, whatever you call them, scantily clad. A lot of people, and it just seemed like everybody was worshiping at the altar of money. But it was a lot of glitz and glamour and bells and whistles. I used the bathroom and got on up out of there. Not like because I was overly tempted to gamble or to see what I could mac up on or anything like that. I just didn't want to be there. I'd rather been by myself. Um, and then, in various other places I went to, I had to stop by. Well, I didn't have to, but I messed around and stopped by an old bar I used to frequent like over a decade ago. Which in a backwards form or left-handed way, I was actually a legend. Not that there's anything to brag about being a legend for stupidity and whatnot. But I do know, people in the area, and I kind of roll, pretty solo. So the thought, it wasn't even a temptation. The thought had crossed my mind just to stop in for a minute and say what's up. Because in previous seasons, when I first started out on this journey of isolation, I kind of wanted, I found it hard to meet people or people that I wanted to be around. And then at the same time, I had this desire to, be around people that know me. You know what I mean? But as you continue to, try to press forward, I don't want to be known for who I used to be. So every time I go in this particular area, I'm in and I'm out. I get real nervous. And I just be feeling and Thinking Man's Templar said this the other night when he was talking about survivor's remorse. And he talked about how he hated America and, the steps he took to leave and how people thought he was crazy. He lost a lot of friends, family, people talking yin yang, whatever, whatever. And now, that he's leveled up, living in his purpose, his life or whatever, he can't really relate to the people that he used to be super cool with or run with unless they're on a similar fast, maybe not necessarily doing what he's doing, but just trying to do something for them outside of just the normal stuff they kind of program you to do in society. And how there's an animosity. And he was saying how he's kind of scared to go back because it's almost like he's going back to something he's escaped from, and he's afraid something gonna happen that'll leave him stuck here. And I kind of had that thought as well, what I mean, I wasn't the greatest guy, you know what I mean. Now, granted, it's been over a decade, but there's nothing for me there other than the one person I do know, and he sells drugs out the joint, so I don't really feel like being around that. And me and him, well, I've got issues with him. Not that I haven't forgiven or just moved on, but I've been seeing it in real time at that time. I just chose to look over for whatever reason. Probably because I didn't want to be by myself, so I needed the distraction of other people. But I knew they wasn't nothing. I just felt kind of yeah, something happened, they ain't gonna just leave me dead, you know what I'm saying? But, they stole from me, or I had seen little jealous streaks out of them, so on and so forth. But I'm like, there's nothing there for me, and I don't want to be in the environment. And then here's what I really wanted to get to, just the countenance of people. It's almost and I've heard this term used one player mode or, NPCs. And that's exactly what it looks like when I go out to society. It's like going through a board on GTA. like everyone's doing exactly what they're programmed to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to a casino on the game, you're gonna see people casinoing, or if you drive past a bar, you're gonna see people outside of the bar. That's just how I'm seeing it. Um, and I always routinely think, like, is it me, yo? And you're exactly right, it's me. It's always been that way. I'm just more self-conscious and self-aware to see it for what it is. Just like the movie They Live, where the guy's just looking through his regular eyeball, but he puts the glasses on and saying the environment, like, you just don't see McDonald's sign, Walmart sign, billboard. You see consume, obey. You know what I mean? You see the people for what they really are. Essentially, living zombies with no critical thought or independent thought, no desire for anything internal. That's why, like, all these relationships are fleeting, because they're all built on superficiality. I think I saw one by the Sheep Stay Sleep TV brother. Shout out to him, and he was talking about, he had a short little a YouTube short that I had seen, and he was talking about, I think it was dating, and he was just saying how it's all transactional now. Like, people say we're dating, right? But it's not like you're dating because you want to get to know the person. The woman towards the man, you're all attempting to see how much you can get out of the person, while you at the same time are attempting to give as least possible. Max benefit, minimal effort. And that's why, like, and where I was working at, which was in a treatment center, like, the vast majority of the BAWs are in relationships, but damn near all of them are having, I guess, relations outside of their relationship with a former client. You know what I mean? And even like with that, I just chose to leave. I don't want to be in that environment. I'm tired of seeing it. It's making my skin crawl. And then I see, like, the illusionary piece of it. Like, everyone's, presenting, I guess as they should, presenting themselves as, whatever type of human being. But behind the veil, or in these people's personal lives, they're creeping, they're doing dirt. They're like, okay, the more someone says they won't do something, that's exactly what they're doing. And just getting back to the countenance of people has changed. Like, I don't, outside of maybe when I go to the gym, and maybe because of physical exertion, releasing endorphins, so forth and so on, nobody to me really looks happy. Like, we all go do stuff, but I'm like, their general countenance, their general disposition, it's like I'm perceiving a heaviness of the soul or of the spirit. You know what I mean? And here's another thing I'm noticing, and it happens in spurts. But yesterday, as I was going, to the gym, school, had to go there, a few places I door dashed in, whatever. I was kind of hit with this, like, I don't even know what to call it, like a weird, like, look, like, kind of like, I don't know, it's hard to explain, like I'm an alien or something, or like I'm an anomaly in the matrix, which I guess technically by characteristic I am. And it's not like I made myself this way. Technically, I've always been this way. I'm just now, and I had this epiphany right one time. And this was when I was in the depths of sobriety, but like the hardship, like nothing was working. I'm around, treatment people or people in treatment, but I'm not really linking with any of them. I'm around people, but I'm spending every chance I get, I'm trying to duck off and be by myself. You know what I mean? And I went through that for years. And I had this epiphany. I said, man, God's leading me somewhere. Because at one point, I used to, like, one weekend, I just walked around Baltimore just talking to myself. Because it was so much monkey stuff, I was trying to, like, process all of it. But I still couldn't come to no concrete resolution. I was just going through the mental process. He's leading me somewhere, and I said, I might not start to come up, proverbially, until the world visibly starts going down. And that's exactly what's happened. So I've had to play the long game, and then playing the long game, you get, I know the word talks about patience producing. Now, my head is wrong. Excuse me. Forgive me. And or how's it where I might be interchanging them? Patience producing endurance, and then endurance produces or is it endurance producing patience and then patience producing fruit or something to that effect. Um, and that's exactly what has happened, unbeknownst to me at the time. The only way I realized, because I wasn't really around people, is how other people responded to me on the job site when they're picking up, like they're in my energy, or the stuff I'm saying to them, how I'm carrying it, da da da. You know what I mean? According to them, I was a superstar, and I was on the fast track for upward mobility within that organization. However, I just couldn't drop. Like once I come to understand or know certain things that I can now verify, I can't be a part of it. So now, to a certain degree, I can see how people kind of get initiated into the Illuminati or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? For the title, the prestige or fake prestige. I don't see nothing prestigious about it, me myself. Um, and I just chose not to do that and live on faith and broke away. And now I'm working on some things, outside of, things I think will position me for the long haul. Because I could have stayed at the job, but the job isn't going to set me up for the long haul. It'll just make me more comfortable in the present moment. But that wouldn't even have worked because I was uncomfortable. Now, I guess there's a certain uncomfortability in going through a certain process, right? Of healing or of working on yourself. But uncomfortable in the sense I'm around a bunch of heathens and I choose not to do that. I'd rather come out from among them. And they're not in no egotistical outlook, but these people aren't worthy of my presence. And they're starting to affect me. Because now I'm feeling the desire to meet far with far because I don't like people playing with me or attempting to match wits with me. You know what I mean? So I just go ahead, and I quit on before. So that was kind of like a backhanded slight towards them. Like, yeah, you see whatever skills you hire me back, and I turned around and did the same thing to y'all again. What that say about y'all? You know what I mean? Not so much me. I guess you could look at it like that. And people have contacted me saying as such. But I'm like, I didn't quit because I couldn't handle it. I quit because I deserve better. That's why. And that's another thing, like, everybody keep hollering all this stuff out their mouth, talking about know your worth, know your worth. We're not necessarily talking about monetary value here. I know my worth so much so, I don't put up with no stupid stuff. Why should I? Well, put up with some stupid stuff for a paycheck? No, sir, you gotta be crazy. Not me. And so that requires me to, live on faith and go through uncomfortable, or uncertainty rather. But I made it through everything else. This is just the latest one. And I had to keep that in mind so I don't start overly getting into doubts and fears and, worry and all that, fear, all that lower level vibrational stuff that don't get nobody nowhere. Because, see, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's actually carrying on in spite of it, not being paralyzed by it. And, ultimately, to get to even this point of being, just regular functional, it took leaps of faith. It took, taking risks, being strategic. You know what I mean? But I'm just noticing, like, the countenance of people is just, I don't know what to call it. It's just, like, humans, especially when they just look different to me. Like, I'm looking at them like, oh, she might look good, or Cub might look like he's doing all right. But then I'm like, yo, they probably do this in their personal life, or you can't really trust nobody out here. You know what I'm saying? It reminds me of that scene in The Matrix when the man was talking about anybody who hasn't unplugged from the Matrix has the potential to become an agent. And that is so true. You know what I'm saying? And then I didn't know this one, but like, there's a lot of truth to these little scenes or whatever they be putting in these movies. Like, here's one I grasped, and I'll leave y'all with this one. Because I don't really watch TV like that. So where I was at in Baltimore City, my roommate, he had all like the new superhero movies. So, you know what I'm saying, rocking with him, I ended up catching up on them. And I had heard of Deadpool, but I ain't never seen it, whatever. So I'm just checking it out with him while we maxing out, whatever. And there was this one scene that called out to me. Now, of course, all the superheroes were regular. Then something tragic happens. And then they become the superhero. Which is kind of symbolic of, if you're living in the world or whatever you're doing, then you go through this transitionary period before you begin to operate past your old identity. So he got the man in a little test tube doing whatever experiments on him, but whatever he's attempting to do ain't working. So out of his frustration, he tells his assistant, turn the machine up to the max. His assistant then tells him, well, if we turn it up to the max, it might kill him. Here's the key point. Here's the key statement. He says either gonna kill him or make him who he's supposed to be. And that's exactly what I went through. I'ma holler at y'all, man. It's the Toothless Wonder on the Bamboozle Again News Network.